Hi Sevinj, hi Antonius. Welcome to Daha Yaxşı program.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you. I didn't know you, but thanks to Twitter and I don't know how to call it, a storm in Twitter. Me and I think many other people in Armenia and Azerbaijan got to know you, and it was just picture of two of you. You met, you just had a coffee, and it was a very cute photo. We will see it now on our screen. So this photo, I don't know, surprisingly or not surprisingly, created quite a storm on Twitter, and it made me honestly think a lot. Like, you will talk about it, but my first thought was, oh my God, like, where are we as Armenian and Azerbaijani societies in larger sense, meaning people who live in Azerbaijan, Armenia, but also people like you, Antonius, who are not born in Armenia, but you are still Armenia in a wider sense, global Armenia, representing it, and just two people from these communities sitting together, just having coffee, having said nothing about conflict, borders, principles, nothing, just this picture created so much mixed feelings in both communities. And it made me think, 21st century, here we are, and it's still a matter of debate and discussion if this is okay for two of you to sit and have a coffee and share this photo on Twitter. So my first question, we will talk about it and you will talk about it, but my first question is, where did you meet first? Please, maybe we can start with Sevinj, then with Antonius. Where did you meet first and how it happened? Like how it came to you actually sitting together and having, drinking coffee?
Well, thank you so much, Emin, for the interview. The first time we met online, there was this online dialogue group that was organized by a student at our university, at my university, at Central European University. And it was about dialogue between South Caucasus nations. And I was like, why not? I want to be part of it. And I want to part of any dialogues between Azerbaijanis and Armenians. And also there were some other Georgians too.
When was it and in which city? When and
It was online, and I think I was at home in Azerbaijan. At the time, I think it was 2020 during summer. It was before the war, right, Antonius? I think so.
It was before the war, yes. Yes, it was exactly a year ago.
Yeah. And when I saw Antonius there, I think you were the only Armenian there. And that kind of, were you the only?
I was not. There were other Armenians. I think I was the only diasporan Armenian. So I was the only one outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like only Antonius caught my attention. And for some reason, I don't know how it happened. And I just wanted to reach out to him. And then we started texting and talking. And then I realized he's a nice human being, and it's okay to talk to him regardless of his nationality or anything. And that's how we met. And for 2 years, we were in contact. And until last week or so, we have never met in person. And then we decided, let's meet in person. And he came to Vienna, we had coffee, and then boom, thing happened.
Yeah, Antonius, from your perspective, like it was your idea to put the photo on Twitter, and did you use Sevinj, but now you can comment, Antonius, like, did you expect such reaction, or you had no idea? You just thought, it's a cute photo, let's share it with the world and let the world enjoy it.
Yeah. Although I'm used to having or just realizing that mundane, normal things, which is having coffee with another person, can be turned political, I didn't expect this particular picture to be of any significance to anyone online, because neither of us is actually quite active on Twitter, and we didn't even discuss anything. We didn't even the caption was just flags and coffee. That was everything in the cap. That, like, it didn't describe anything. And that, yeah, I mean, I just posted it, and I thought of, like, maybe I should write something cheekily interesting about political. Then I was like, no, let's just not make it political. Let's just keep it to coffee. And then even that coffee ended up being immensely political.
It was very political coffee, very political coffee.
I mean, and I think it's just that we are both attractive people, and the picture was very beautiful. So I think if we were, like, not attractive and the picture was, like, I don't know, a selfie or something, it wouldn't have caught this much attention. So
You mean so
happy. So it was not like a fake smile. It was a genuine smile. So
I think the photo. So you are saying that the photo was too beautiful for the world and two communities to ignore it.
Exactly.
When you were looking at reactions to this photo, let's go, because it was. I think it's very. It can be quite subject of certain anthropological, very interesting anthropological study.
Yeah.
There were so many comments, retweets with comments, and dialogues. So I want to give opportunity to each of you to, like, some of your favorite comments and dialogues about it. Maybe we start with Sevinj, and tell me, like, let's start first with Azerbaijani audience, or let's go mixed. So tell me, Sevinj, what was interesting comments or things that, you know, shocked you, or, you know, frustrated you, or made you happy in terms of reactions to this photo?
Well,
And you can quote, you can give examples, you know, just for those people who are not on Twitter and who are on YouTube, so they can imagine what was going on.
Well, as Antonio said, when we posted that photo, we were actually thinking of some cheeky hashtags, and we suggested some, but I don't remember what, but, like, then we were like, let's keep it simple, just the flags. And we had no expectation. We had no idea what will be the reactions. But then I think it was that day in the evening, then we slowly started getting reactions, like likes after likes, and then people started quoting and retweeting. And there was even, like, a death threat from an Azerbaijani user that, like, when she comes back, there will be flowers on her grave. I was like, okay, that is kind of harsh, and, like, that's to the extreme level. But there were a lot of comments from Turkish users that they were like, yeah, this is unacceptable. You cannot meet an Armenian. Like, you don't remember all of those massacres, like all the horrible things they've done to you, to us. And honestly, this was one part, and that didn't bother me at all, because I was like, after seeing one or two comments, I realized this is quite normal to receive good comments, also bad comments. What shocked me was this photo being discussed on another social platform, on Instagram, that it was screenshotted. And I'm going to say this, and my surname was not shown, but it was just my name. It was screenshotted and shared. And the caption was like, what do you think of this photo? And there were a lot of insulting things about me and my personality, like, from people who don't even know me. And it was kind of shocking. I was a little bit expecting it, but to the extent it was taken, and that was quite shocking. But also, it's been a week, and now people do not actually react, although there are some people still commenting on the comment section, trying to lead the discussion to a certain level. But I think it was just one or, like, couple of days that was actually, like, caused big discussion.
Do you think, Sevinj, I want to have this question to you before we go to Antonio's, like, do you think the fact that there was also harsh reaction from Azerbaijani community, how much of it do you think had to do with your gender?
There was a comment, I remember this very, very clearly, that there was this comment, I don't know who was that, but it said, like, usually it is the Azerbaijani guys going after Armenian girls, but this time it's an Azerbaijani girl going after an Armenian guy. I was like, okay, this is new, and it was, I think my gender played a specific role too, because people didn't expect it at all. Like an Azerbaijani girl actually wanting to meet an Armenian guy. It was,
Might have put more gasoline into fire.
yeah, it was gaslighting. Like it was just there.
So this is why I'm saying it will be a very interesting anthropological study of this tweet, because it has so many interesting, elements,
Yeah.
including this gender element.
But I think in general, there were more women users who were like shaming, insulting, because for them it is unacceptable, because they're so loyal and they just like do not want to accept meeting someone who is accepted as enemy, who is the other in their terminology. So like there were some women users that I wasn't offended, but I knew something like that could happen.
I mean, there was probably to the most conservative part of society in Azerbaijan, regardless of Antonio's nationality or ethnic origin, even meeting with a guy, just having a coffee, already would be a red flag. But putting all other elements here, of course, is turning this into a fire for them. But Antonio, tell me, from like what kind of interesting comments have you seen, reactions from your friends, like family, like how it all played? Did you expect it? And please don't be shy of quoting, because I think it will be, again, interesting for people who are not on Twitter, like really listen to even quotes, dialogue, like what kind of reactions you could observe.
Yeah, so initially my first kind of like the go-to thing for me would have been to comment on every single comment. But then I was like, okay, it's getting a lot of comments and a lot of retweets. I'm not gonna comment every single one of them. And I have not read all of them. That's the thing. But I would say that the few that I have read, and the thing that would trigger me was when they would attack Sevinj in a way. So that was to me like, for example, some guy was like, an Armenian person was saying about how I want to get laid, so Armenian women are not beautiful enough, so he's going to Azerbaijani. I don't know what they were saying, and then I had to like comment, like I literally said, I think that went viral as well, and I said I'm gay with like a dog, and I think that was like that literally shut them up.
This was a very unexpected Taoist move from your side.
Well, to be fair, I think what intermingles is into this one coffee, it went into like gender, sexuality, ethnicity, nationality, fashion, coffee, everything, photography, everything was like literally in one picture at this point. So otherwise, comments such as traitor, or if you're ever in Yerevan, we're gonna kill you, or my DMs were literally like from even like right now, I don't even read them at this point. I'm not, I just don't see why I will even read a comment or a message from someone who has a flower pic or like a cat pic, or like they don't even have their name on it, and they have like 2-3 followers, and I don't see why I should like respond to such people. Otherwise, yeah, I mean.
But what about your friends, relatives? Like, did you get reactions from them? I mean, did you get reactions from people you know? Not the online community, like people who have 2-3 followers, or accounts that maybe have a lot of followers, but you don't know them personally, but people you personally know. What was reaction from people who called you or wrote you, like people you know?
Yeah, I don't know. No one did call me. I did not. I mean, I did receive calls, but not from people I know. And I didn't really share the picture with anyone. I didn't find, because again, it's not to me, the initial point was not for it to be political. So I didn't really share it with, say, my family or whatever, like, oh, look, here's me having coffee with Sevinj, who happens to be Azerbaijani. But I did mention, like, in a casual conversation with my father that oh, and I'm gonna meet Sevinj, you know, she's Azerbaijani, and we're gonna have coffee. And it was like, and he said, yeah, okay, have fun. So I was like, see, it was very casual. It was not, because I think with me and my family, we have surpassed the phase of me doing things that are deemed provocative. So I think they're tired of me and they're like, yeah, just do whatever you want. Yeah.
But I think on my side, before going to that, I wanna just mention that I remember at some point people had nothing to discuss and they were just like screenshotting and circling things on Antonius's Twitter profile that like this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. I was like, okay, like you have nothing to say. Why are you wasting your time here? Like this is just like nonsense. Regarding the reactions from people that I know, I remember some of my friends tagged me and tagged some other friends. Oh, this is Sevinj. This is our Sevinj. I was like, do I know you? Then I realized, of course, I know them. And they were like, their reactions. Honestly, I had no idea what kind of reactions I was expecting from my friends. But all the reactions I got, they were positive, like surprisingly positive. Even I didn't share it with my relatives or family, like in details, but I mentioned it to my sister, and she was her reaction was surprisingly positive. She was like, yeah, you guys had coffee, like what's wrong about that? Like two people like wanted to talk about something, and she was annoyed more than me about the comments on Instagram photo. It was just I was the one who trying to calm her down. But yeah, my sister didn't have any negative reactions as well.
Sevinç, Antonius, but interesting. Like if you, I don't know if you can count it or not. If you like observed it, like what do you think from Azerbaijani and Armenian community? What do you think, like, you know, what percentage of reactions were positive and what percentage was negative? Like, you know, was it more negative, more positive? What kind of?
From my observation, it was, I can obviously without actually doing the statistics, but from my observation, I would say it was 50-50. Both communities had good things to say, bad things to say, and it was equally divided amongst them, which I find intriguing. I find very interesting.
Maybe, yes, you agree, Sevinç?
I would say so too, because I was expecting more negative reactions from Azerbaijani community, but it was actually like 50-50 on both. There were some people that had like quoted our photo, like saying, oh, like they're so cute, like this is such a cute photo, like this is genuine. I was quite surprised because I didn't know how people would actually receive this, because it's been almost like more than a year I've left Azerbaijan, although I was there during the war. But since I've left, I didn't know how is this situation, how's people's level of like wanting to discuss or like talk to the other side. I'm saying other side, I hope that's not quite thing, because like that's how it's accepted, or like people actually see this, but like the Armenian side, of course.
I want to ask you this question. So, based on this experience and on the reactions, how do you think? How would you evaluate the, like how, you know, what does it make you think about where we are as two nations, as two communities? Like, you know, does it give you more hope? Does it make you frustrated? Do you think that, you know, we are just hopeless in terms of bringing one day in the future these communities together is absolutely impossible? Or do you think, again, based on just this experience, which is quite unique?
Yeah, I would say that regardless if it's good or bad, people of the region are thirsty for change. Now, let's hoping that this change is, you know, peace. But again, it should come from a sense of normalcy, right? So what we did was a normal act of having, like normal people having coffee, right? So I think we need to take this, people do need to understand that it's okay, first of all, to have coffee with each other. And it's also okay to talk with one another. It's also okay to listen to one another, right? So for the future, I would deem it, I think is like, I'm not an optimist, neither am I a pessimist, but I think there is no alternative to peace, and peace that stems from the bottom up, right? Because otherwise we're gonna die out. There is no alternative. Like it's like war after war, and then there is not gonna be an Armenia or an Azerbaijan to talk about anymore. So I think this perpetual conflict should be we should see it as a destruction, and we're trying okay, so from the Armenian side, I would say that a warmongering Armenian think it would be supportive of war, for example, to protect their own, but they don't see it as you're actually destroying your own. You're destroying your nation, your country, your people, your language, your whatever, by advocating for war. We tried war for so many years. Why don't we try coffee? Why don't we try peace? See, that's how I see it. And it's not just peace as it's very easy for states to like, it's easy for Pashinyan and Aliyev to sit down and sign a peace deal, but I think it's up to us, the Armenians and the Azerbaijanis of Armenia and Azerbaijan and the world, to actually take this peace building step. It's basically, we're transforming, we're unlearning and learning new things. We're reimagining a future that was destined to us. I mean, I would like imagine a simple picture of an Armenian Azerbaijani having coffee, two people who were basically, our destinies were actually chosen for us. They said, okay, you're Armenian, that means you cannot have coffee with an Azerbaijani. There's no way you're going to talk with an Azerbaijani for the rest of your life. And I and Sevinj decided, we're like, no. Who said, is it written on stone? Is it like, what? No. So we are going to have coffee with one another. So I think, I do believe, to answer your question, the future is, in the most objective way possible, I would say it's bright. And I'm not being an optimist, I'm being a realist.
I think this story and this story has a potential to turn into a movement, But I want to hear first Sevinj too, and then to continue. So Sevinj, how did you see it?
It was quite sad to see that people see this as a quite negative move, but at the same time, it made me a little bit happy that people actually react. This was disruptive. This caused a discussion between two nations, like people from two communities who live both in those countries, like both in Azerbaijan and Armenia. Also, those Azerbaijanis and Armenians living abroad. And I could definitely see the difference between those who stayed in the country and who moved abroad. I would definitely say that people who got education, who have more worldview, they saw the potential of I could say that they could see the potential of us moving forward, not staying in one place. Because as Antonio said, war will not take us to a bright future. It's going to destroy us. We're going to be destroyed. There will be no one to celebrate our brighter days. So instead of trying war, maybe as Antonio said, maybe we should have dinner. Maybe we should have coffee. Maybe we should actually start talking. Even if it is disruptive, even if it is insulting or whatever, maybe we start actually talking. And then we will realize someone's talking and I need to listen. I need to hear what they're saying. And at some point, it will start making sense. And then maybe we can achieve peace, because that's what we're trying to do, right? To achieve peace so our nation will not hate us, because hate is destructive. Love brings you more happiness, no? So I think I'm a little bit hopeful that this actually causes a reaction. So there's a future that we can work on.
This what happened, your photo and then the reaction to it, I saw this as as act of performance. It was piece of art. It was contribution to peace building. It was a poem. It was a movie. It was something very special. I've seen in the last 20 years a lot of projects, initiatives, some good ones, some useless ones, trying to build bridges and to create dialogue between our two communities. But what you did, it is priceless, because organizations, governments, groups, people try to organize something, try very hard, and they never generate discussions that you managed to generate, between these two communities. Public, open discussions. And so this, what you have done, and I cannot avoid this provocative question, because at Daha Yaxşı, when people ask me what is difference between Daha Yaxşı and other programs, and I always say that whenever we have dialogue or conversation or these interviews, it's not a journalistic project. It's just a platform to talk, to meet, to ask people what can we do, to make our lives better. Daha Yaxşı means even better. So, and I cannot, stop myself from temptation to ask you, considering this even small step you did and created such a storm, have you thought about taking it even further? Like because now you two, in my view, are iconic figures representing potentially a movement of people in both societies saying, regardless of what we think about the conflict, about borders or principles on how it should be solved, but we believe that it is okay for someone from Armenia and Azerbaijan, regardless of their gender, ethnicity, because in Azerbaijan you have also, different ethnicities. In Armenia, I know you also have some other people who are citizens of Armenia, but other have a different ethnic origin, religion. So, but someone from Armenia, wider Azerbaijan, just to sit together, have a coffee or lunch or dinner, it's okay. So, and I think, there will be people who will be against it, but interesting thing, I think there could be a lot of people on both sides who would, under a certain hashtag, just, support and expand this kind of thinking or culture or attitude that, this is normal, and, we can debate, we can agree, disagree, but this cannot be taken from us, because we are humans and we choose with whom we sit and drink coffee or not drink coffee. Have you thought about it? Have you thought about taking this even further and, turning it into a project, movement, something else? Have you thought about it or not?
We did discuss this. And obviously, I think the mere fact that, again, a picture of two people having coffee generated so much impact, that means if we bridge our, what we're good at, what we've been doing all our lives together, we can create even greater impact. We're not sure as to what this project, movement, whatever is going to look like. We're still listening to other people, discussing it amongst ourselves. But I think it would be a shame if we don't do anything, right? Because just like Sevinj and I, we were discussing earlier, if not us, who? If not now, when? So the thing is, people tell us, tell me and her, obviously. For example, they cannot take that first step. They might think like it. They might say like, oh, it's for an Armenian, it's normal to have coffee with Azerbaijani, but they would never do it themselves or put it on social media. Yeah. So again, if we are the ones who are going to take the first step, obviously there are many individuals who have done amazing peace building work before us, and we're just continuing on their path, right? We're not just like God sent individuals who are like, oh yeah, hi, we're gonna do peace now. No.
Who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
Messiah.
right? I think it's just it's. I think it's an opportunity to create change. And we'll see what the future holds for us. I mean, but definitely there's something cooking. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Actually, that was one of the things people were on the comment section. They were like, "What did you guys discuss? What did you talk about?" Yeah, that's what we talked about. We were actually thinking of doing something together. We don't know what. We're still thinking of something to do for future, because us Antonio's posting that photo showed that Armenians and Azerbaijanis can meet in public and can actually show it to other people too, because there's nothing wrong about it. It is just two people just deciding on their own what they want to do, what they want to talk about. And even if there are differences between us, we know how to put our differences aside and work on our similarities. And it is okay to accept other people's differences too. So we're definitely thinking of something to do for the future, because that will be, as Antonio said, it would be such a shame, because we started something that caused a big reaction, and there will be something for future.
I think before you say something, Antonio, I think that, if you start publicly talking about it and start asking your audiences on Twitter, to share ideas, to, write you DMs, I think you will be surprised that there will be people from both communities who have certain skills. Some of them maybe infrastructure, some of them ideas, like professional skills, like, I don't know, people who have made big campaigns, who can sell very good, are very good salesmen, saleswomen, like, professionals, maybe entrepreneurs. Like, I think you will be surprised that you will find a lot of new allies, which you had no idea you have. But because of this, you could tap into both communities, which I always thought that if we think for a second that this Armenia in a wider sense, like global Armenia, and Azerbaijan in a wider sense, also global Azerbaijan, if we, instead of fighting each other and basically destroying each other, and also, destroying our own resources, because look, for last 30 years, we spent so much resources against each other for destruction, instead of using those resources, big part of resources, both in Armenia and Azerbaijan, to spend it on internal development, And so this, of course, puts us behind, 30 years since independence. This is a lot of time. I mean, there were countries like Singapore, South Korea, and many other countries or in Eastern Europe, who for 30 years developed into, the most successful, free economic countries, or both politically and economically free countries, to the top of the world. And where we are, we all know that, and it's definitely we're not there yet. So, yeah, I mean, I have this feeling that if you do this right, I mean, you could do something really amazing. And if it doesn't work, if it doesn't work, then I think also there is no shame in that. I mean, it already worked. There is no one can say it didn't work, because trust me, I know many projects, many people who tried to do something, who have tried to do something, but they never managed to generate, just because of one photo, so much debate and so much discussion. And this debate and discussion, I think, is already impact, because it made a lot of people think. And I think, as from your own words and my own observation, it did inspire at least some parts, of both Armenian and Azerbaijani communities. And you never know, what it will bring, what it will inspire to do other people, regardless even of what you will or will not achieve, decide, to do or not to do?
I wanted to say something about when Sevinj said that we concentrate on or we focus on, you know, the similarities, right? That's amazing. But something we did, and I think it's important also, and I think I look forward to anything I do with Sevinj as a project, would be we didn't shy away from our experiences and our like, you know, that we discussed trauma, obviously. We discussed experiences that were supposedly taboo or we're not allowed to discuss. See, I believe that most of the, not most, I don't know about statistics, but a lot of the peace building initiatives failed after the war, right? Because it's all about the surface. See what Sevinj and I did, and it's not the time to talk about details, but we went into the nitty-gritty, we went into the mud, and we discussed everything. So see, that's the thing.
Was it Gestalt therapy approach?
I'm not sure what that is.
Gestalt therapy, it's a you know, there's a kind of therapy where you talk about everything you feel here and now, and this is the way to healing. Instead of not talking about things, being diplomatic, like, you know, talking about things, you know, expressing your feelings, your thoughts, your frustration, your happiness. So
well, the thing is, we like we didn't shy away from sharing these, you know, these big stuff.
I have a feeling that you're experimenting, like you're trying to find new methods, your own methods of dealing with this, which is fantastic, and you shouldn't share it now. I think it's a maybe work in progress, and you can surprise both communities even more in the nearest future. And but look, guys, I know I want to make a small announcement here that Antonius, you and me, we're gonna have a separate conversation about, you know, what you write about and what you think about Armenian and Jewish nationalism, about new geopolitics. But we will separate this. This is a big topic, so we'll speak separately about it with you. But guys, I want to thank you for this interview, for your time. I want to thank you for your creativity, for your courage, and for this spirit that you don't want to say, okay, now it's over, let's go home and drink coffee separately. But in a way, your message that you're going to continue drinking coffee together and think about how you can create more trouble for both our communities. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you in person very soon.